Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit View Time. Today we've got ICM's latest release. This is the 1/32 AH-1G Cobra, or the early production type. I have to say, I'm a massive fan of anything helicopters anyway, as you probably know. But to have a new tooled, Cobra to come along pretty much out of the blue as well is a very, very welcome surprise. Because to be honest with you, let's face it, what we got, old monogram one back in the day of a Cobra in 32nd, things like that. But we haven't seen an iconic helicopter like this come along in quite some time. So it's really nice to see it. It is in 32nd. I know you're going to get the people out there who say about 32nd and 35th scale for helicopters, which is the correct one. But I did the Wessex and that was a 1/32nd kit. And obviously we've just finished the SH60 and that being a 1/35th scale kit. There is obviously a slight difference between the two, but it's very difficult to know if you're going to go with that sort of armour scaling as in 35th scale or aircraft scaling as in 32nd. But anyway, it's here, and I must admit I've been itching to get our hands on one of these to review it, and also I'd love to build it, so we'll see how good it is. Anyway, as you can see, lovely box art, very much iconic. Slick is here, so as you can see, looking very good with the actual jungle theme down in there with the rocket pods and the usual sort of standard olive drab, as you can see. So running around on the box, kit number for this one is 32060. A little bit about blurb about the actual Bell Cobra and its beginnings, as you can see. Nice little bit of box art on the side there, and the markings you get. And I must admit that really caught my eye. Really like it with the sort of, the two-tone camo one there as well. Don't get me wrong, I think you can do quite a lot with just in olive drab to weather it in and to fade it and darken it and various things. But that with the sort of camo pattern on there looks absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, the box is sealed. I haven't been in here yet, so we're just gonna run a blade just to open these up. We're going to on this side. And in here, so hopefully we can now. ICM get me every time with their boxes trying to get into them. They're never straightforward. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, so box nice. We are greeted by. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. That looks very nice indeed. Straight off the back, ICM's normal way of doing it in one giant bag like this. Luckily though, they do tend to sandwich the clear parts in there, stop them rattling around, and hopefully I haven't been thrown around too much in the box, but there we go, that looks pretty darn good down in there. And then we've got the other one, which will have our instructions and hopefully a few decals in there, which you do. Okay. That looks pretty darn nice. We'll look at those in a moment. Okay, so if we start our little trip here, just starting with the instructions. So normal sort of colour call-outs down in here. It's talking about Revel colours. ICM do their own colours now. Who knew? So we've got Tamiya down there, but obviously pretty much easy crossover with all of these. Okay, so straight off the bat we can see we've got other versions coming down the line. So we've got different tails on here for different versions. So obviously we've got this is the early production. We're expecting a late production as well, which is probably why we've got the various things down in here for the actual tailpipe as well, going up into the engine to cool it a little bit. Tailplanes are slightly different, so forth and so on. So that is good sign. So if you're a Cobra fan, you should be okay. So straight off into it, we're into the actual seat. So we've got the armour protection on the sides being fitted down in there, and then we've got the little gizmos down in here for doing the tow missiles for the optical system. So that's being fitted down in there into your tub, as you might imagine. So we've got the sight click and the collective as well being fitted down into there. So those are all good to go. Instrument panels being fitted down in and dropped on the top. So, pretty much as we'd expect. And then we're going back down into engine. I think that's the carb system onto it just down in there. And then obviously the top of the sort of, the building up for the gearbox and the various things, all being fitted down. Some of these details as well. So you are going to get a little bit of work around here. Again, you could probably get in amongst all of this and detail it up as well. So we've got the swash plate, the various areas going down in there. The tail looks like we've got a really nice join as well for putting on the tail boom. So it shouldn't be a fit issue as long as those are done properly as well. Okay, and then exactly the same on the other side. So that looks pretty good. Showed about the tail rotor being fitted in. Looks pretty simple, very straightforward. And then obviously we got this one with the carb on the back, and then the gearbox and system. Again, we have got a panel off, so you can see all this detail down inside here. So that's quite nice. And then obviously we've got the cockpit tub being fitted down into there, and that rear bulkhead being fitted in. Talking about putting the glass in now, so this will be quite interesting to see how this is all going to fit and work in amongst all of this one. But it looks like those are going in. Okay, then we've got the two halves coming together out just like that. Okay, and then on the other side we've got, actually they're not glass, these are armoured panels. So we've got the side armoured panels going in, which is fair enough, that makes more sense. Okay, top part we've got the lights going down in there, the nose system, and again different variants, different things going down in here. So check to see on your instructions which version you're doing. We do have a belly plate going in, which is pretty much what we'd expect with this one. Okay, so hopefully the panels will line up with all of those. And then we've got the sort of ammunition bay area with the actual landing light system being fitted down into here. Gun system, so again different versions, different ones. So we've actually got, oh, it doesn't have a grenade launcher, that must be the later one, or perhaps it does have the grenade launcher. We've got the single one, we've got the twin or the grenade launcher down in there, so whichever version you're putting onto this one, and you've got that landing light being fitted down onto there. Top part as well, there is slight differences between those, and then we've got the collar being fitted down on there for the exhaust. Okay, pylon time, so pylons coming together, these little stub pylons with the actual weapon stations on there just like that. Tails being fitted down in, and then obviously those pylons going in there as well. A couple of little parts going down in here. I think this is for the actual, in fact I don't know if it would have it. I didn't know if it wouldn't have a missile warning receivers on there like that, so I assume they must be little tail lights or something being fitted into this one. We've got a couple of hooks being fitted down underneath like that, okay, and onto the other sides. Okay, I don't think it ever used it, but there we go. Skids being fitted down onto this one, and then obviously we've got the clear parts being fitted in. So it looks like we are going to be multi-part on with these, how it's going to go in. Always interesting to see how different manufacturers tackle doing this. So again, this has got the one piece going to go in the front, and then the sides will all go in afterwards, which is fair enough. Okay, so hopefully this will all be a nice good fit and go in there okay, but again open or closed whichever way you want to have it displayed. Okay, and then obviously we've got this section you can have open or closed as well, so you can get into the actual gearbox area and the transmission bits down in there for the actual engine, both sides again open or closed. Okay, and then we've got the blades, so blades are going to be two bits together, and then obviously we've got the hub being fitted down into there for the rotor head. Okay, and then all the system being fitted down into the top just like that. Nice little touch with this one, we do get the little dolly wheels as well, so we can actually, for dragging it around on the ground. Okay, so those can be fitted, again optional extra depending if you want to or not. And we've got the towing one as well, so actually some really nice little things as well. So we've got the towing area as well, so if you did want to have it sort of ground scenery, things like that, you can do that one as well. Rockets, hydro rockets, okay, gun pods, whichever one you're feeling your fancy, as you might imagine, for those being fitted down in here. And again, we've seen it before and we've seen it again, really nice touch with this template mask. So you can actually just photocopy this and then use them as a template, either cut them out onto here. I would suggest photocopying this and then cut it out onto masking tape. So you just use it as a mask and then away you go, just like that. Okay, then we've actually got the schemes. So as you can imagine, pretty much your air cav units down here. So 2nd Battalion, 20th Artillery Regiment. So it's for aerial rocketry. We've got this one just down in here. Or what else we got down in here? Doesn't say. Particular one, that one down in there, presumably one of the training type ones with a big 15 on the side. This one down in here we like is B Battery, 2nd Battalion, 20th Artillery. So it's the 1st Cavalry Division. So that's actually very, very nice as well. I really like that one. So it's the training team colours for 1976. So again, yeah, that looks very, very nice. And we've got this guy over here, which got the very nice with the flag on the bottom. I don't know if that's politically correct these days, but hey ho. So anyway, this is down in here from November '69. And again, so yes, really very nice indeed. Okay, so decals. There we go. Don't look too bad at all look usual way. Usually their decals are good. So obviously we've got this instrument panel, it's quite basic. We're imagining the aftermarket guy is going to jump on this very, very quickly. But those all look pretty nice. Good, solid colour. All the registry is absolutely fine. We've got the air cav markings down the back here, things like that. Not a million decals as well, which is really nice. Okay, so So far, so good. Right, into the bags. Okay, so load this one out. What we do, we'll try and do them somewhat in order. Okay, so up in one, as you can see, that it's that normal thing. It's quite a soft plastic. I always give it the chink test, as I call it. You drop it, okay. But the detail is absolutely beautiful on this. Again, it's one of those ones when you first look at it, you go, nah. Then you feel it, and it is beautiful. A lot of companies, they do this thing where, you know, raised rivets, they either don't bother or they make them recessed. Oh no, not here. We've got proper raised rivets and recessed as well, which is a very nice touch with this one. Okay, so if we have a run round in here, you can see we've got all the access latches and panels and everything down there on the side, but when you come to the back here, oh yeah, that's all raised rivet detail, looking very, very nice. Nice, clean, crisp moulding, no problem. So we've got the seats down in here as well, nicely done. Okay, and we've got the other fuselage up there at the top. We've got those bulkheads, the comins. And again, like the real thing, there's not a lot going down inside these cockpits at this early stage, so they're quite basic in detail. Inside, obviously, there's nothing because, you know, technically we're not going to have anything to show. You've got this nice big feet area as well for where the tail boom is going to attach, so that's quite a nice touch. It all looks pretty darn good, I have to say. Very nice. Clip ups we'll look at last. Okay, so down in here, as we can see, we've got the main parts as well for the underside of the fuselage. We've got the dollies and the various things. I think if we just start up here, so we've got the pylons, we've got the instrument panel, which has got raised bezels on there, so that's quite nice. You can pick them out individually. The skids, both types. We've got the exhaust. Again, this is what we're saying, the later one, this is one where it scoops it up so the exhaust goes into the blades to dissipate the heat for missiles, but that's the later versions had those. And again, slightly different profile on the tails down in here. This is the belly, the underside of it. Again, really nice details you can see through there, and all the engine parts. This is that towing dolly for there. We've actually got the rotor head itself and the swash plate, the various areas down in there, those bulkheads. Again, really very nice. Again, raised and recessed details all the way through on this. So you've got lots of nice options. On the blind side, all the, you know, ejector pins are all here, but they're all very, very fine. Quite flush. So that's very nice indeed. Okay, right. Next up, we've got one of the weapons pylons, which I imagine this is going to be a dual. So we've got two of these, so we'll just have a look at the one. Okay. And again, so you've got your rocket pods and the dolly wheels, lots of the smaller parts here, as you can see. That all looks very, very nice indeed. Down in here, so we've got the wheels on separate hubs, all the smaller parts. Generally very nice. Rocket pods, gun pods. We've got the tubes. That's actually all very, very nice indeed. Again, two of those. And then we've lastly got the rotors, those giant flat bladed rotors which give that classic rotor thwack that the Hueys and the Cobras got. So again, very nice detail on those. Again, difference in the tails, slightly different designs, things like that. Slightly bigger obviously on I think the later one. And again on this side, there's the turret on the bottom here, chin, tail rotor. Yeah, very, very nice indeed. Clever stuff. Okay, last up we got the clear parts. Again, been moulded flat, and again crystal clear, no problem with, you know, obviously seeing through. There's a tiny little bit of distortion in there, but these have got quite a heavy curve to them, don't forget, they're not flat. So that's why they've moulded them like this. But again, you have got some quite nice chunky areas to glue up against. It's not like you're going edge on edge and going to have trouble with the gluing marks and stuff like that. You can even get away with using weld action glues because there's enough distance between those. Just keep your amounts quite small as you make your way through. Be no problem at all. there we have it. Let's face it, it doesn't disappoint, does it? It looks exactly what I was sort of expecting. The parts breakdown, pretty much what I thought as well. Nice little touches with that one is the way that the tail booms, this system goes on here. You've got this nice big fillet as well, so hopefully that'll make for a nice join. Hopefully the bottom will go in quite nicely and the clear parts on top. If that all works, it'll be absolutely fantastic. What I love about ICM is that they don't overcomplicate the build. It's pretty much, this is what it is, this is how it's got it, and it is typical of ICM that it's a good start off point as well. If you wanted to do a really detailed, you know, high fidelity sort of, you know, model of the actual, you know, the Cobra, you could use a lot of aftermarket, which I'm sure is going to be coming down the line, or a lot of scratch building. But if you just want to build it straight out of the box, you've got a very, very straightforward, I wouldn't call it simple, but it's definitely a very straightforward. There's not extra detail for the sake of it and various things. You've got the detail for the engines, again, like we're saying, wiring, a little bit of scratch building in there. You could really bring that to life. We know also that they're bringing out figures for this as well. So we've got ground crew, engineering crew, various things like that as well. We've got pilots and that, I think, coming down the line for this one. So it'd be really nice for a nice little direct to do this. You've already got the dolly in the various little areas for having it, for towing it out and put, you know, towing it around the airfield and things. So to have the ground crew with it, you could open up some panels, open up some accesses, but trust me, give it a year or two, there'll be a load of aftermarket for this kit for all the different areas in resin and photo etch and 3D printed and stuff like that. It looks fantastic, I must admit. Really excited about building this one. I am going to build it sometime in the near future. There is a vote going on at the moment on the Flory Models site, so if you want to get your vote in and you're a Flory Models member for me building this month, here we are in June, then make your vote known, because that's going to close tomorrow. Anyway, that is a stunning kit, absolute must for anyone, that one. So that is the ICM's 132nd AH-1G Cobra.